Hi, Brent Abel here, WebTennis.net, and this week's tip is I want to help you with your movement up at net, especially that first step. And this drill that we're work on is really going to help you improve your doubles play. And what I want you to think about, first of all, before we kind of talk about the drill I want you to do, is the problem we get into sometimes is we end up reaching first with our hand for a volley rather than with our feet. And what I mean by that, for example, is if you're over here on this side of the court and you've got an opponent who's hitting back cross court, back to your partner, too many times I see players who will end up reaching first, getting off balance, and a couple of not so great things happen. Number one is that you are off balance as you're trying to play this shot, so that your stroke mechanics are not great in the volley. The other thing too is that you are, after the shot, falling a little bit, and maybe you don't want to continue further into the court. Maybe you'd like to come back and cover up the spot where you originally started. So what I want you to think about this week is, how are you going to react to a ball, let's say to your right, not by reaching with your hands, but by getting your feet to come over first. So in this example, I'm using my right foot. I want to feel that the first movement I've got is with this foot and not reaching out here with my hands. Now, the easiest way to drill this is to have someone else on the other side of the net where you keep your elbows to your side and they just pitch you balls side to side, and you have to move back and forth and try to retrieve those volleys. And all that you're going to do really is just tap it back to your partner, but make sure that you keep your elbows to your side throughout the whole drill. Sometimes I see players who will actually strap themselves in. That's fine if you need to be able to make sure that you don't reach out here with your hand, that you can actually move with your feet, play the volley, come back, play the volley. And in real life, what happens when you play is that your first instinct is now with your feet, and you now try to go over and play the shot with good stroke mechanics. Obviously, if you have to reach at the very last second, well, then you have to do that. But what we want to try to train, and what I want you to thinking about this week, is that your first movement to a ball where you've got to move when you're up at net, especially in doubles, is not where your feet lock and you reach, but is where your feet move first. Okay? Hope this has helped. Any questions, Brent at WebTennis.net. Thanks very much.